Kenny and Pelfrey are in. Gentlemen, I'll start right off. Key to the game. Doug, yours.
To me, I think it's poised and mental toughness, because I think it's a combination of that made us be effective on the run game, as well as putting pressure on Brady. But also, we could have had some things this week where we folded our tents from last week because we played so bad. And the fact that we hung in there, we put ourselves in a situation to succeed.
And you say ball bounced the right way this time?
Absolutely. The ball went our way.
Sometimes that happens.
Exactly.
It doesn't happen much with this team, but your key?
Well, it did in the Green Bay game a little bit, too.
Okay, we'll give it that. There's 2 wins right there.
But to me, I thought the fact they got to Brady early and put him on the ground a couple of times early. That second sack by Gilberry, I don't think he even accounted for him. And he's usually so good at finding guys that are unaccounted for and getting away from that pressure or buying time. He never looked comfortable from that point forward. I mean, 18 of 38 to me tells me it wasn't because he was inaccurate. It was because he was inaccurate with guys in his face a lot of times.
1 of 12 on third down.
Stunning.
And you talked to some of the guys. I talked to some of the guys in the locker room who said, really? I don't remember ever doing that well. And against Tom Brady, I'm not sure that's ever happened.
Yeah, I was going to say, Doug, I mean, that's almost unheard of. He's going to make 3 or 4 plays that you don't even expect him to make on third down.
And that's the key. Tom Brady always finds a way to hit you when you're really not expecting, and a lot of times they end up being a long touchdown or something, and we kept him out of the end zone as well. So.
Some of the other things that we're talking about that may be keys to the game, they doubled up on the ground against this team. Is Gio Bernard become the bell cow for this group? And is now the complement with Ben Jarvis, Green, Ellis, and Close the kind of run game that every team would like to have?
To me, I want to see Ben Jarvis run up the middle, and I want to see Gio get out in space, because to me, I still think they're trying to run Gio up the middle too much, and I know he's going to break him every now and then, but he's dangerous when he gets in space, when he gets on the corner.
Yeah, Brandon Spikes put him down one time. That was as big a thud as you heard all day when they tried to run between the tackles. But to me, you can almost, I think, give Gio a handful more touches, but you still need to do what you did today. Spread it between the 2 guys. 32 carries, I think it was, between the 2 guys. I'd rather see it be 19 Gio, 13 Ben Jarvis. But you got to keep running the football. You've got to sell out to do it. I don't think they've done that a lot the first part of the year, Brad.
Andy Dalton gets judged. He's going to get judged every week. Where's he stand this week?
You know, he responded. You know, and I think that's what's great. I think that the one thing that I think Andy brings is a competitive spirit. Having trouble talking here, but his competitive spirit is what makes him a little better quarterback than some of the other guys. And today he was against one of the all-time greats, and he held his own. He actually played pretty well today.
Well, Martin gave the game ball to Mike Zimmer. Says it's the first time he's done that since he gave it to Mike Brown when they took down the Chiefs 8-0. Does Mike Zimmer deserve the game ball in this?
Absolutely. He just, guys play for him. You know, I thought Reggie Nelson, honestly, when he came here, was a terrible pickup. I thought he was done. And boy, look what he's done. Carlos Dunlap played with no motor at Florida. Look what he's done. Vontez Burfict was a head case. Look what he's done.
They brought Chris Crocker back.
Chris Crocker they brought back. But they just seem on that defensive side to be able to coach guys up. And in this league, I mean, that sometimes is really hard to do, and he does a great job of that.
Doug, I'll ask you from a player standpoint, is Mike Zimmer going to be a defensive coordinator his whole life, or does that translate to a head coach, because it hasn't thus far?
I think the great thing for him is it's his choice, because, you know, a guy that good, he has a chance to decide if he wants to be a coordinator, if he wants to try to step up and be a head coach. If he's really smart and he's really not ready to be a head coach or doesn't want to be a head coach, he'll stay right where he is and just be great, because I think a lot of people always think the next step is better. Sometimes it's just great just to be great at what you do.
I think it's obvious, and guys will admit, they've played up and down to their competition. They get Buffalo next week. What do they do?
Just because of the quarterback situation in Buffalo, I think they actually get a breather for a change with a fairly easy victory.
Okay.
I think they win. Obviously, I pick them to win just about every week, but I think it's Buffalo.
I think you picked against them in 2004 one time, I believe.
That's right.